share of your spirit on me. Now, we see here Elijah telling him that is a hard thing, like he's the one giving it out. But remember, when you walk with God, it's like you're another outlet of God, because Elijah did not inquire of God whether that was possible or not, but he asked him, what would you want me to do for you when I'm taken? What would you want me to do for you before I'm taken? Now you see, he did not get into a fast. I again encourage you that when we walk with God, everything about us becomes a miracle, becomes a blessing. You can speak and God just hears. You see, he took off his coat and dropped it on the water, and the waters parted. It goes to show you that whatever it is that is with you is cleansed, is purified, is an extension of God's hand to do miracles. Now, an example, Elijah, because he walked with God, some of the things he did, he didn't inquire. Like when he said, if I'm a man of God, let fire come from heaven and consume you. And it consumed the 50 men that were after him. And he did it again and again. It goes to show you that when you walk with God, you can speak, and it's from your mouth to his ears. I hope someone has got that. And guys, you determine today that you will walk with God and watch him fight for you, and watch him do things for you that no one else would do. In verse 13, it says, Elijah's coat had fallen to the ground, so Elisha picked it up. He went back and stood at the edge of the Jordan River. He hit the water and said, where is the Lord, the God of Elijah? Just as Elisha hit the water separated to the right and to the left, and Elisha crossed the river. Now, if God did it for two people, he can do it for one person. He can do it for many. The first time we hear about waters parting was in Moses' time, when the children of Israel had to cross and get to the other side because their enemies were coming up against them. Now, these are two guys that needed to get to the other side for whatever reason, I don't know. But it did not limit God how many he was doing it for. He did it. May God do for you a miracle today that will strengthen your faith, and you get to know that your God is real. Because whatever God does, it is to plant in us hearts that are not doubting, that we may be trusting in God. He may get you that job just so he may plant in you that he is your source, that he is your salvation, that he is your provider. That is his nature. And we see that he just said, where is the God of Elijah? And he hit the coat on water, and the waters parted, just like they had done on Elisha's side. So it goes to show you that God can use just about anyone that is available. Elijah is gone, and Elisha is in things now, if you may call it. Elisha is in charge now, and he speaks, and God honors. God is looking for anyone who is available to use. Is it going to be you today, or is it going to be someone else? We always give excuses. I'm not eloquent, I'm not strong enough, I'm not tall enough, I come from a poor background. We have all these excuses. But guess what? You see that when God was giving or transferring what was on Elijah to Elisha, he did not ask him his background. He wasn't looking for the wealthiest person to take over. He wasn't looking for the most educated, because even in that time, believe you me, there were people who were educated. There were people who were learned. There were people who were rich. But God was not looking for any of those. He was looking for anyone who was determined, who was available. And Elisha was available. He was determined. We see it by the price that he was willing to pay to have the coat of Elijah. So if we are determined, if we are committed, God will speak to us as well. He does not say anywhere that I'm looking only for these people in this tribe, or the people who are disqualified or from this place. He's looking for anyone. I hope when he looks, he'll find you and I. And we will be the ones that he will use this day. In verse 16 it says, they said, look, we have 50 good men. Please let them go and look for your master. Maybe the Lord's Spirit has taken Elijah up and dropped him on some mountain or in some valley. Now, there are people who will sow seeds of doubt in you, trying to get you away from, help make you forget what you saw, what you know your God is capable of doing. Elisha had seen. Elisha knew that his God was taking Elijah. And even when he met prophets, that goes to show you that even people of God can stray. Even people of God can cause you to make mistakes. Now it needs to get to that place where you can make that decision for yourself, basing on what you know of your God, basing on how you've seen him, basing on your relationship with him, and you trust that what he has said or revealed to you is the truth. Now, if Elisha was not didn't know for himself that Elijah was going to be taken and see it, his faith would have been shaken into thinking that God took his master and dropped him on a hill somewhere where there's no help. But Elisha had seen and knew for himself that God had taken his master. And guess what? He told them, you don't have to. But then they insisted. And after they had, let us read it. Elijah answered, no, don't send men to look for Elijah. The group of the prophets begged Elisha until he was embarrassed. That they cannot find him. And he told them, but I told you not to look for him. He had seen for himself. May we also be a people who have seen God for ourselves, that we cannot be shaken, that we cannot be swayed easily right and left about what is right, about what is wrong, about who God is. When I was younger, about 16, I wanted to know for myself that he is God. And the reason I was giving was because I didn't want to be deceived when I go to school where there are all kinds of teachings, because I had the fear that when you go to higher levels of learning, there's a paper they call Divinity where they disprove God and make what you have always known and read as a child as good and right, they turn it into being wrong and not good. So I was like, God, reveal yourself to me that I may know you for myself. That even when I meet people who say you are not there, I know for myself that you're actually there. This Elisha had